Hi everybody, I'm Nicholas Skinner with Skinner Games, and you're here for another episode of game reviews in 5 minutes or less. In this episode, we'll be talking about the Cthulhu Hack. Now this is a game that was released recently within the same camp as OSR, but mildly different, called the Black Hack. Hopefully we'll be able to get to review that one soon as well. The Cthulhu Hack is a very nice game that's really simple. The game itself, the whole book, is down to 43 pages. So the cover's pretty rockin' here. The whole thing is in black and white. The inside, it's all crunch and information. It does give you some information on where to get some research by reading H.P. Lovecraft's works, but it's all about the system, and it is elegant. You still have the basic D20 mechanic of rolling a die, adding some stuff, and beating a number, but in this game it's called a save, and you need to roll under your save. Now it's a somewhat modern setting, as H.P. Lovecraft wrote this contemporary time period. So you're running around with pistols and cars and things like that. Some of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is also imported into the game, the advantage and disadvantage mechanic, for example. However, there are a lot of new things. For example, the flashlights and smokes. Now these are limited resources, so you really need to watch what you're doing, or you'll be able to run out of things and be stuck. However, running out of the resource doesn't necessarily mean that you can't continue with the game. There's quite a bit of a difference between the two, and I'll kind of read you a little bit of what it says. If an investigator needs to spot, uncover, trip over, research, stumble, recall, or otherwise discover something, that's a flashlight die. If they might overhear, carouse, interrogate, coerce, fast talk, bribe, claim common kinship, or otherwise extract information through social connection or use of personal credit, that's a smoke die. And what's interesting about these resources is if you fail with them immediately, the roll you can remake, but at a lower die. For instance, if you have a D6 that you're using with your flashlight die and you fail it, you could theoretically make another roll, but it's now at a D4. And if you fail that D4 roll, you're now completely out of that resource. However, the rules do say that you get a clue before the roll, so no matter if you pass or fail, something still happens so that you can continue with the game. There are 5 classes for character creation: the Scholar, the Philanthropist, the Adventurer, the Ruffian, and the Bruiser. Each class comes with a series of jobs attributed to it. Some of them, for example, like the Philanthropist, has Alienist, Nurse, Teacher, Clergyman, Occultist, and Doctor. There are rules for movement and distance, fighting and self-defense, critical damage, armor. You also have a mechanic called Sanity. And anybody who's familiar with the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, or even some versions of Dungeons & Dragons, like that of Ravenloft, for example, will know what a sanity mechanic is. It means that you go so basket case, ape spit crazy. The game has really simple stat blocks for creatures, so you don't even really need to have a ton of work involved beforehand. Now, I like the idea how this game runs. We haven't played it yet. We're actually going to play this in October if you want to watch our other show, Retro Role Playing. But I'm really excited to get my feet wet with the Cthulhu Hack. Seems like a really fun game. There's a lot of really cool mechanics that they throw in, and I love how simple it is. So if you're looking for a fun game to play some dark and scary night, or maybe on Halloween, pick up the Cthulhu Hack. It isn't very expensive on DriveThruRPG. I'll post a link below. You can also get hard copies of it through the author's website. I'll also post links there. He's got some actual really other cool stuff on his website, like folding dice trays and things like that. So give it a look-see, and let me know what you think in the comments below. If you found this video informative, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. As I mentioned previously, check out our other show, Retro Role Playing. We play through a ton of old systems, some new ones to come, and so that you can see how the games roll, how they play, so that you can make the decision whether or not you want to play them yourselves. Thanks for joining us, and as always, happy gaming!